Did you know that chronic stress can trick your body into storing fat around your belly even if you're eating healthy? Surprising, right? What if I told you that your mind has more power over your waistline than your workout routine does? Stay with me, because today we're going to uncover how your thoughts, your emotions, and your stress levels directly affect that stubborn belly fat and what you can do to change it. Welcome back to Woman Healthy Tips, the place where science meets self-care. If you've been doing everything right, eating clean, exercising regularly, but that belly fat just won't go away, this video might just be the missing piece. Today's topic, reduce stress, reduce belly fat, mind power matters, isn't just about looking better. It's about understanding how your inner world shapes your physical health. Let's dive into 6 powerful insights that show how mastering your mind can help reshape your body. Stress is not just a feeling that lives in the mind. It is a chemical reaction that changes everything inside the body, especially how fat is stored. When the mind perceives stress, whether it is from work, relationships, or even constant overthinking, the brain activates an alarm system that releases cortisol, the hormone designed to help you survive danger. This was once useful when humans needed energy to escape threats, but in today's world where most threats are emotional or psychological, this same system backfires. The body does not know the difference between a real danger and a stressful thought, so it keeps flooding your bloodstream with cortisol, preparing you to fight or flee. But when the danger never ends and your stress remains constant, cortisol keeps asking your body to hold on to energy, and that energy often ends up as fat around the belly. The reason belly fat is most affected is because this area is rich in cortisol receptors. When cortisol levels remain high, fat cells around the abdomen become more active in storing energy. Over time, this creates that stubborn layer of fat that refuses to go away, no matter how healthy the diet or how frequent the exercise. The more stressed you feel, the more your body believes it needs a safety reserve, so it holds fat tightly. Think about those times when you were worried about something and noticed your cravings suddenly shift towards sweet or salty foods. That is not lack of willpower, it is biology. Your brain is asking for quick energy to calm the stress response. The problem is that each time you give in, cortisol gets reinforced, the body relaxes for a moment, but then the stress returns and the pattern continues. Even more fascinating is how your thoughts alone can raise cortisol. Simply remembering a stressful event can trigger the same hormonal response as living it again. That means if you spend hours reliving past arguments or worrying about future problems, your body stays in a constant state of alert. This not only slows down cell metabolism but also weakens digestion and immunity. When digestion slows, the nutrients from food are not absorbed properly, leading to bloating and more belly fat storage. So stress is not just about emotions, it changes how the body uses every bite you eat. A simple example is seen in people who go through prolonged periods of emotional pressure. Many report gaining weight around their middle even when they have not increased their food intake. The stress chemistry inside them is enough to alter how their body stores fat. Cortisol also affects insulin, another hormone responsible for controlling blood sugar. When cortisol rises, insulin becomes less effective, leading to higher blood sugar levels and stronger cravings. Over time, this imbalance makes the belly fat even more stubborn. It becomes a cycle where stress leads to fat storage, and excess fat, especially around the abdomen, creates more inflammation, which then increases stress again. The good news is that awareness alone begins to break this cycle. When you start noticing your body's reaction to stress, you gain the power to intervene. Imagine feeling tension in your shoulders or your breathing becoming shallow. In that moment, if you take a long, slow breath and tell yourself you are safe, you send a message to your brain to stop the cortisol flood. Breathing deeply activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's relaxation switch. Within seconds, your heart rate slows, your digestion restarts, and fat-burning hormones like growth hormone and DHEA rise. This is how mind power begins to reshape body chemistry. Stress is inevitable, but the way you respond determines whether it harms or heals you. The body is always listening to the mind. Every anxious thought, every angry reaction, and every feeling of hopelessness changes your internal chemistry. Learning to manage your thoughts becomes as important as any workout routine. Visualization, deep breathing, journaling, and even spending time in nature can lower cortisol levels and reduce fat storage signals. When you practice calm thinking, your body switches from survival to recovery mode. Over time, your metabolism becomes more efficient and belly fat starts to reduce naturally without extreme diets. What many people do not realize is that chronic stress ages the body from the inside out. It disrupts sleep, alters appetite, and slows down muscle recovery. Women are especially affected because cortisol interacts with estrogen and progesterone, creating hormonal fluctuations that make fat loss harder. If you often feel tired but wired, crave sugar in the evening, or struggle with sleep, it might not be a diet issue but a stress issue. The key is to bring your mind and body back into harmony. This is where the second key area, sleep, plays an equally powerful role. Sleep is one of the most underrated fat-burning tools, and yet it is often the first thing lost when life gets stressful. When you do not sleep enough, your body interprets it as stress, even if your day felt calm. The brain becomes more reactive, cortisol rises again, and hunger hormones start to misfire. Two of these hormones, leptin and ghrelin, control your appetite. Leptin tells you when you are full, and ghrelin tells you when you are hungry. When you are sleep deprived, leptin drops and ghrelin rises, making you feel hungrier and less satisfied after meals. This is why after a poor night's sleep, you wake up craving pastries or coffee. It is not just habit, it is your hormones demanding fast energy. Studies show that women who sleep less than 6 hours per night are significantly more likely to store visceral fat. This type of fat wraps around internal organs and produces more cortisol itself, creating a loop of stress and fat retention. Without proper rest, your metabolism slows down, your insulin sensitivity weakens, and your ability to make good food choices disappears. Think about how you feel after a restless, night foggy, impatient, and more tempted to snack. Your body is simply trying to compensate for lost energy. Over time, poor sleep becomes one of the strongest predictors of belly fat gain. Rest is not just about the number of hours spent in bed, but about the quality of that rest. When the mind stays active at night, replaying conversations or worrying about tomorrow, the body remains in a semi-alert state. Even if your eyes are closed, your nervous system stays awake. This prevents deep sleep, which is the phase where fat-burning hormones do their best work. During deep sleep, growth hormone is released, helping the body repair muscles and burn stored fat. If stress keeps you from reaching this stage, your body never gets the chance to reset. Creating a consistent sleep routine helps calm both the brain and body. A simple ritual before bed, such as dimming lights, avoiding screens, or stretching gently, tells your body that the day is ending. Some people find it helpful to write down their thoughts before sleeping so that the mind stops looping. Others use slow breathing to quiet their heartbeat. Even 10 minutes of stillness before bed can signal your body to lower cortisol and prepare for rest. What also matters is when you sleep. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day helps regulate the circadian rhythm, the internal clock that controls hormone release. When this rhythm is disrupted, cortisol can peak at the wrong time, such as late at night, making it hard to fall asleep. A steady routine resets that balance, helping cortisol stay low during the night and rise naturally in the morning to energize you. This rhythm supports both mental clarity and metabolic health. Quality sleep also improves emotional regulation. When you rest deeply, your brain's amygdala, the stress center, becomes less reactive. You wake up calmer, make better food choices, and handle challenges without triggering a stress response. Over weeks, this lower baseline of stress translates into lower cortisol and less belly fat storage. It is a quiet process, but it is powerful. In many cases, people try to lose belly fat by exercising harder or cutting calories, but without proper sleep, these efforts backfire. The body perceives excessive exercise combined with sleep deprivation as more stress, increasing cortisol further. The solution is not just to do more, but to rest smarter. Sleep gives your body permission to release stored fat because it no longer feels threatened. When you wake up refreshed, your metabolism works efficiently, your hunger hormones are balanced, and your mood stays stable. It is also important to remember that sleep and stress are partners. Poor sleep increases stress, and high stress reduces sleep quality. Breaking this loop requires small, consistent habits that calm the nervous system daily. Avoiding caffeine late in the day, spending time in sunlight in the morning, and keeping your bedroom cool and dark all enhance sleep naturally. These habits sound simple, but they create the foundation for deep restoration. When the mind is peaceful and the body well rested, cortisol stays balanced, appetite normalizes, and energy stabilizes throughout the day. This internal calmness reflects outwardly as reduced belly fat, clearer skin, and better focus. It is not magic, it is biology, working as intended. Reducing stress and improving sleep are not just emotional goals, they are physical strategies for fat loss. The truth behind mind power is that every calming thought, every night of deep sleep, and every conscious breath rewires how your body manages energy. You do not need extreme diets or endless workouts when your hormones work with you instead of against you. It all begins with taking control of what happens inside the mind, because the mind sets the tone for every process in the body. When you reduce stress, you change your chemistry. When you sleep well, you reset your metabolism. And when both align, the body naturally releases the fat it once held to protect you. Emotional eating is one of the most misunderstood causes of stubborn belly fat because it does not begin in the stomach, it begins in the mind. When stress builds up, when emotions become heavy, or when life feels uncertain, the brain naturally looks for comfort. Food becomes that comfort because it offers a quick sense of relief. The moment you taste something sweet or crunchy, your brain releases dopamine, the chemical of pleasure and calm. For a few minutes, the chaos quiets down, the tension eases, and everything feels fine again. But soon after, guilt sets in, the mind blames the body, and the stress returns even stronger. This pattern repeats over and over, and each time it does, cortisol rises again, signaling your body to store more energy around the belly. It becomes a silent cycle where emotion, food, and fat storage feed one another without you even realizing it. Emotional eating is not just about food, it is a coping mechanism. Many people eat not because they are hungry, but because they are trying to silence discomfort or fill an emotional void. When you feel lonely, anxious, or frustrated, the brain tries to escape that state through something familiar and soothing. Food provides that quick escape. But instead of solving the emotional issue, it hides it for a short while. The body then pays the price because every extra bite that is not needed for energy becomes stored as fat, especially when cortisol is already high. This is why even when you are eating healthy foods, if you are eating them under emotional stress, your body may not process them properly. Stress changes digestion, reduces nutrient absorption, and signals fat cells to store energy rather than burn it. To break free from emotional eating, awareness is the first step. Many people eat automatically, not even realizing they are doing it to calm emotions. The next time you find yourself opening the fridge without feeling true hunger, pause for a moment and ask what you are actually craving. It might not be food at all. Maybe you are craving comfort, peace, or distraction. In that pause, take a deep breath. The moment you breathe slowly, the brain's stress response begins to soften. Your heartbeat steadies and your mind becomes clearer. You may still decide to eat, but now it will be a conscious choice, not an automatic reaction. Over time, this awareness retrains the brain. It learns that not every emotion needs to be fixed through food. The more you do this, the less control food will have over your emotions and the less power stress will have over your belly fat. Mindful eating is the opposite of emotional eating. It means bringing full awareness into every bite. It is about experiencing food rather than escaping through it. Imagine sitting down for a meal and truly tasting each flavor, noticing the smell, the texture, and how your body feels as you eat. This kind of presence activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for digestion and relaxation. When you eat mindfully, cortisol levels drop, your digestion improves, and your body begins to burn food for energy rather than store it as fat. You also tend to eat less because your brain receives the signal of fullness more clearly. When eating emotionally, that signal gets lost, and you end up consuming more than your body needs. Practicing mindful eating does not mean you need to change everything overnight. It can begin with small steps. Try eating one meal a day without distractions. No phone, no television, no multitasking. Just sit, breathe, and enjoy your food slowly. This simple habit teaches your mind to stay calm and connected. The calmer your mind becomes, the less cortisol your body produces. And over time, you will notice how your belly begins to respond differently. The process is gentle but powerful. Your body begins to trust you again. It no longer feels the need to hold on to extra fat for protection because it senses that you are emotionally safe. There is also an interesting link between emotional eating and how we view ourselves. When someone constantly feels unhappy with their body, that dissatisfaction itself becomes a stressor. The brain interprets negative self-talk as a threat, triggering cortisol release. This is why self-criticism often leads to more stress eating. The key is to rebuild your relationship with yourself through kindness and patience. Instead of punishing your body for not being perfect, start appreciating it for what it does for you every day. When you eat with gratitude instead of guilt, your entire chemistry changes. The hormones of calmness and satisfaction rise, digestion improves, and fat storage signals turn down. You are not just changing habits, you are changing your brain's response to stress. While the mind plays a huge role in eating, the body also helps heal the mind. Movement becomes a bridge between the two. This brings us to the next essential point: movement that heals the mind rather than punishes the body. Many people approach exercise with frustration or desperation, believing it is something they must endure to lose belly fat. But when movement is driven by stress or guilt, it becomes another source of cortisol. The body senses pressure, not joy. In that state, fat loss slows down because the body is still in survival mode. The real transformation begins when movement becomes a way to release stress instead of creating more of it. The body is built to move, but it thrives on movements that bring balance, not exhaustion. When you walk outdoors, dance to your favorite song, stretch, or practice yoga, your brain releases endorphins, natural chemicals that lift your mood and reduce cortisol. This shift in chemistry is what turns exercise into a healing ritual. The key is to move in ways that feel good and consistent. It does not matter whether it is a 10-minute walk or an hour of gentle stretching. What matters is the state of mind you bring into it. When movement is done with joy, your nervous system relaxes, blood circulation improves, and fat-burning hormones are released more efficiently. One of the best examples of this can be seen in people who practice mindful movement like yoga or tai chi. These exercises are not just about physical strength, they combine breath, focus, and awareness. Studies show that people who practice such forms of movement often have lower cortisol levels and less abdominal fat, even when their workouts are not intense. Their minds stay calm, which tells their bodies to stay in fat-burning mode. The same principle can be applied to walking. When you walk slowly, paying attention to your surroundings, the rhythm of your breath, and the feel of your steps, it becomes a moving meditation. You release stress and gently guide your metabolism into balance. Movement also improves sleep, and as sleep improves, stress decreases. Further, it becomes a positive loop. A calm mind encourages more energy for movement, and regular movement keeps the mind calm. This is why forcing yourself to work out aggressively when you are already stressed often leads to burnout rather than results. The body does not respond well to pressure. It responds to balance. When your workouts make you feel happy and energized, your cortisol drops, your digestion strengthens, and your belly fat begins to shrink naturally. There is also a hidden mental benefit to consistent movement. Each time you move, your brain learns that you can take action to change your state. You are no longer trapped by emotions. You move from feeling overwhelmed to feeling capable. This sense of empowerment rewires your stress response. Instead of reacting to stress with fear or eating, you respond with movement and breath. The mind regains control, and the body follows. Over time, this builds not just a stronger body, but a calmer nervous system, a clearer mind, and a more stable metabolism. Some people think only intense workouts can burn fat, but the truth is that calm consistency is far more powerful. High-stress exercise can raise cortisol temporarily, which is fine if your recovery is strong, but if you are already living in chronic stress, those high-intensity workouts might do more harm than good. Gentle strength training, stretching, dancing, or even slow swimming can activate your muscles without overwhelming your nervous system. Your body learns that movement equals safety, not stress. That signal alone can help your belly fat begin to melt away because your body no longer feels the need to store it for protection. When movement is combined with mindful breathing, the effect multiplies. Deep breathing during exercise increases oxygen flow, clears the mind, and balances the autonomic nervous system. The breath becomes a tool for stress management. Every inhale brings in energy, and every exhale releases tension. As the mind calms, cortisol lowers, and the body becomes more efficient at burning fat. It is a holistic process where the mind and body support each other. Each small action sends a message of safety to your system, reminding it that it no longer needs to hold on to excess weight. Movement should also be enjoyable because joy itself is medicine. When you do something that makes you feel good, whether it is dancing, cycling, or simply walking while listening to music, your brain releases serotonin and dopamine. These chemicals not only lift your mood but also reduce your craving for unhealthy comfort foods. When your emotional needs are met through joy and connection, you no longer rely on food for emotional relief. This change in behavior directly impacts your waistline because you stop feeding stress and start feeding vitality. Through both mindful eating and mindful movement, you teach your body and mind to communicate in harmony again. Stress no longer controls your hunger, your energy, or your shape. You begin to move, eat, and live from a place of awareness and calm. Every time you choose to breathe before reacting, every time you walk instead of worry, every time you eat with presence instead of distraction, you are rewiring your brain for balance. That balance shows up on your body as health, confidence, and lightness. It is not about quick fixes or strict rules. It is about creating a relationship with yourself where your mind leads with peace and your body follows with strength. The thoughts you think each day shape not only your emotions, but also your body's chemistry. Every time you think something stressful, judgmental, or negative about yourself, your brain reacts as though there is danger. It does not matter whether that danger is a wild animal or your own self-criticism. Your body responds the same way. The stress response is activated, cortisol rises, and your metabolism begins to slow. This is why your inner dialogue has such a powerful impact on your waistline. When the mind constantly sends messages of fear, failure, or self-doubt, the body stays trapped in protection mode. It believes it needs to hold on to fat as a buffer, a form of safety against perceived threats. This is where the power of positive thought rewiring begins to matter more than most people realize. Imagine spending a day repeating silent statements such as "I can't lose weight" or "I hate how I look." Every repetition strengthens neural pathways that associate your body with stress. Cortisol spikes slightly every time those thoughts appear, and your body keeps reinforcing that stress state. Over time, that constant trickle of cortisol keeps fat cells active around your abdomen. But when you shift your language, even subtly, you begin to reshape your biology. Saying, "I am learning to care for my body," or "I am becoming healthier each day," sends a signal of safety to the brain. The stress response softens, your muscles relax, and your hormones begin to rebalance. This is not about pretending everything is perfect. It is about creating a new internal environment that supports healing instead of survival. Your thoughts are electrical impulses that send messages to every cell. When those impulses are positive and peaceful, your body produces neurotransmitters that enhance fat metabolism, stabilize appetite, and improve sleep. When they are negative, they trigger inflammation and encourage fat storage. Scientists have found that people who practice positive thinking habits often have lower cortisol levels and a healthier waist-to-hip ratio. The connection is not mystical, it is chemical. Every thought releases a cascade of hormones and neurotransmitters that either calm or stress the body. Your mind is the command center, and your body is simply following orders. Think about how your body feels when you are calm, confident, and content. Your breathing is slower, your digestion works smoothly, and your energy feels steady. That is the parasympathetic nervous system in action, the state where healing and fat burning happen. Now recall how your body feels during frustration or fear. Your chest tightens, your stomach knots, and digestion nearly stops. That is cortisol taking control. When this becomes the daily state, the body loses its ability to burn stored fat efficiently. The simple act of thinking differently, therefore, becomes one of the most powerful tools for reducing stress-related belly fat. It is not about fake positivity, but about rewiring the brain to support safety, balance, and self-respect. The process of positive rewiring takes practice because the brain naturally gravitates toward what it repeats. If your mind has been repeating stressful thoughts for years, it will try to return to them even when you start thinking differently. The key is consistency. Each time you replace a negative thought with a supportive one, you are teaching your brain a new path. Over time, those new pathways grow stronger, and the old stress responses weaken. The more peaceful your inner world becomes, the less your body feels the need to hold on to fat. It finally understands that it can relax. You can start by simply observing your thoughts without judgment. Awareness alone begins to change brain chemistry. When you notice a stressful thought, breathe deeply and consciously choose a calmer perspective. That small act lowers cortisol, even if just slightly, and each small moment adds up. There is another layer to mind power that influences belly fat, and that is belief. The body mirrors what the mind believes to be true. If you believe you are stuck, your body behaves as though it is. If you believe healing is possible, your hormones align with that possibility. Studies on the placebo effect show how powerful belief can be. People who think they are taking something beneficial often show real improvements, even when the treatment is inactive. The same principle applies to your journey toward reducing stress and belly fat. When you believe your efforts matter, your brain releases dopamine and other growth-promoting chemicals that enhance motivation and metabolism. You are not just thinking positively, you are guiding your biology toward balance. One practical way to train your mind is through daily affirmations. These are simple statements that redirect your focus from stress to strength. For example, saying, "My mind is calm and my body is healing," each morning conditions your nervous system to start the day in a relaxed state. Over time, this helps reduce the background level of cortisol that drives belly fat storage. Visualization is another powerful technique. When you imagine yourself feeling strong, peaceful, and confident, your brain activates the same neural circuits as if it were actually happening. This sends messages of safety throughout your body, allowing fat-burning hormones to work more efficiently. These small mental practices can seem subtle, but they rewire the foundation of your stress response. The emotional energy you carry matters just as much as your diet or workouts. Negative emotions like guilt, resentment, or hopelessness keep your body tense and inflamed. Positive emotions like gratitude and self-compassion release tension and promote hormonal balance. Every time you choose kindness over criticism, your body relaxes a little more. When your body feels safe, it begins to let go of what it was holding both emotionally and physically. This is why true transformation always begins in the mind. The belly fat you see on the outside is often just a reflection of internal pressure that needs to be released from within. By using your thoughts as tools for calmness, you can teach your body to trust, heal, and change. While positive thought rewiring calms the mental storm, deep relaxation allows the body to translate that calm into physical healing. The body cannot burn fat while it is stuck in a state of tension. Fat loss happens most efficiently when your nervous system is in balance, when your heart rate is steady, and when your breath flows naturally. Deep relaxation is not laziness. It is the state where the body does its best repair work. When you consciously allow yourself to relax, you activate the rest and digest system. In this state, cortisol drops, digestion improves, and fat cells become more responsive to energy release rather than storage. The mind might think stillness is wasted time, but biologically, it is one of the most productive things you can do for your health. There are many forms of deep relaxation, and it is about finding what speaks to you. For some, it might be meditation or slow breathing. For others, it could be reading quietly, taking a warm bath, or simply sitting outside under the sky. What matters is not the method, but the message you send to your brain. Each calm moment tells your body, "We are safe now." That single thought changes everything. Inside you, when the brain feels safe, it stops signaling the adrenal glands to produce cortisol. Blood flow improves, digestion restarts, and the body's natural fat-burning processes resume. Even just 5 minutes of genuine relaxation can shift your hormonal balance. The more consistently you practice it, the more your body adapts to this new normal of calmness. Think about the rhythm of your day. Most people live in constant stimulation screens, noise, deadlines, responsibilities. The body never gets a chance to reset. This constant stimulation keeps the stress response active, which in turn keeps belly fat resistant to change. Introducing small moments of deep rest throughout your day can reverse that effect. Closing your eyes and taking 10 slow breaths between tasks can lower cortisol immediately. Walking without distractions for a few minutes can quiet the mind. These micro moments of peace accumulate over time and create a foundation for deep relaxation that supports hormonal balance. One of the most powerful aspects of deep relaxation is how it influences sleep. When you practice relaxation regularly during the day, your body learns how to transition smoothly into rest at night. This means deeper sleep, better hormone regulation, and a stronger metabolism. During deep sleep, the body repairs tissues, balances blood sugar, and releases growth hormone, which directly supports fat loss. By contrast, when the mind is overstimulated, even hours of sleep may not bring real rest. Practicing relaxation while awake teaches the body what safety feels like, so that when it is time to sleep, it can surrender fully. Another important effect of relaxation is on inflammation. Chronic stress creates low-grade inflammation throughout the body, which contributes to fat storage, especially around the belly. Deep relaxation reduces that inflammation by lowering cortisol and calming the immune response. The result is improved digestion, better insulin sensitivity, and more efficient fat burning. Many women notice that when they begin to include relaxation rituals in their routines, bloating decreases and their energy becomes steadier. Their bodies are no longer fighting constant stress, but are working in harmony with their minds. Relaxation also has a profound effect on the way you perceive challenges. When your mind is calm, problems feel smaller, and solutions appear more clearly. You stop reacting impulsively and start responding thoughtfully. This shift reduces emotional stress, which further reduces cortisol. Over time, this becomes a self-sustaining cycle of calmness. You relax, which lowers stress, which improves metabolism, which gives you more energy, which makes it easier to stay relaxed. The transformation starts from within, but expands outwardly in how you think, feel, and look. In moments of rest, your body returns to its natural intelligence. It remembers how to heal, how to balance, and how to let go of what it does not need. This includes extra fat that has been stored during years of stress. When you finally stop fighting your body and start nurturing it, everything begins to align. Deep breathing, gentle stillness, or simply allowing yourself to pause during a busy day may not look like much on the surface, but these moments are where deep metabolic change happens. The calm mind tells the body that it is safe to release. The longer you maintain that inner calm, the more your body trusts and responds. The combination of positive thought rewiring and deep relaxation is like giving your body new instructions. You are teaching it that stress no longer runs the show. The hormones that once caused belly fat to accumulate begin to stabilize. Your body feels lighter, digestion becomes smoother, and your energy becomes clearer. It is the natural result of harmony between mind and body. Stress and fat loss are not separate topics, they are deeply connected through the way your brain perceives the world. When the mind becomes peaceful, the body follows with gratitude.